How's it going, everyone? It is me, Stateside Footy here, and you can see here you have me as well. That's because we're going to be reacting to my Champions League predictions so far this season. Obviously, I've only done the group stage. This is what we're reacting to. Of course, I've got my list of everything I've gotten right and wrong here. If you see me looking down, you know why. Oh, God. All right, here we go.
That's the order I'm putting them in. Liverpool got
Liverpool
them.
I had
think they're gonna
first.
Have an easy group. They're most solid.
Easy group. No, they struggled against Napoli. It wasn't as easy as I thought it would be for them facing off against Napoli.
Was going to be probably the top scorer of that group.
He was.
If not, I could see Luis Diaz doing it, but I think it will be Mo Salah. Napoli, they will get off to a very weak start, but Victor Osimhen will carry them through that group and get them into the Champions League knockout stages.
So we had those two switched. Osimhen, it was actually Martinez. Osimhen didn't play as well as I thought he would for Napoli here in the Champions League group stages. Mo Salah did. I think he was joint top goal scorer with Mbappe, so pretty close there.
Where they will probably lose in the first round, but they're going to make it into the knockout stages. Ajax will beat Napoli, but lose to Rangers, causing them to drop
but they
into
did
the
beat
Europa
Rangers.
League spots. And Rangers, your only 3 points will be against Ajax in the game you beat them, sending them to the Europa League.
So, obviously, Ajax went above Rangers, got those two positions right. 100% correct on those two. Just switched out first and second. So, but I have everybody going to the right place. Just how they got there is flipped around. So, somewhat right. Rangers got no points. Worst Champions League team in history, statistically speaking, goal speaking. That is a fact.
Moving along to Group B, Atletico Madrid, you're going to play boring, and you're even going to get outscored by Leverkusen in the group. But you will come top of the group. Porto, you're going to lose a...
Not only did Atletico finish last, they actually outscored Leverkusen, who finished above them. So, that's that.
Very, very boring game to Atletico, and probably draw the other game 1-1.
They didn't lose.
But you will make it in second in the group, playing in the knockout stages as well. Moving along to Leverkusen, who's going to take the Europa League slot. They're going to play sloppy against Porto and blow out Club Brugge. And them blowing out Club Brugge is going to be the reason they outscore Atletico Madrid. Even though they're going to be playing in the Europa League, they will outscore Atletico Madrid in the group stages. Club Brugge might sneak a draw somewhere in there. I'm not sure who they'll sneak it against, but they will. I think they'll sneak a point, maybe, and that's kind of the prediction I'm giving for them now. They've lost one of their best players, one of their best young.
So, Porto I had going to the Champions League, got that right. Bruges I had dropping out completely of Europe, got that wrong. Leverkusen I did have correctly in the Europa League spots, so that one I will take as a win. And Atletico Madrid, I completely got them wrong. God, that pause on my face is terrible.
Youngsters.
But
I'm just going to pick them.
But Atletico Madrid, nowhere near their position. They did play boring. I got that right. They played super boring. And yeah, so let's look at Group C.
Finish bottom of the group. Along to Group C, Group of Death. Bayern, Inter, Barca, Victoria Plzen. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce their name. Moving along. Bayern are going to absolutely smack Barcelona once again.
3-2.
Without Robert Lewandowski.
Beat him 3-0, beat him 2-0. So that is, kind of what you expect there from Bayern Munich.
I think that Gnabry is going to go crazy in the group, and he's going to be one of Bayern's best players in the group stage.
1 goal, 3 assists. It's not terrible. It's not like off the mark. It's not like he got no goal contributions. 4 goals and assist in 6 matches, pretty solid.
And definitely get them top of the group. For second, I'm going to go with Inter Milan. Lukaku scores a hat-trick against Victoria, and that's probably going to be the only goals he scores in the group stage. But it is still going to be enough for Inter Milan to finish second in the group.
So, obviously, he only scored 1 goal against Victoria. I mean, I called he would only score goals against Victoria. He scored 1 goal against him in the opening game, and he's been injured ever since. So, I got it right, sorta. Like, not a hat trick, but that's the only team he scored against. So, take what you will.
Barcelona, they're going to be a Europa League club, and
100%.
like I said, they're going to get smacked by Bayern. But I think they get a point in the second game against Bayern. They lose to Inter sloppily, maybe get a point against Inter in the home leg, and then they're going to slip up against Victoria and probably beat them once and draw once with them as well. Victoria Plzen, I think they'll get a point against Barca. I don't know. I doubt they'll get another point. I think they will play well. I think somebody in that team is going to shock some people, but I don't think that they're going to have enough to come into the Europa League spots or even the Champions League knockout spots.
So I got wrong the fact that they would get a point off of Barcelona. However, his name is Thomas Chowdhury. Thomas Chori. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that team. He's actually joint all-time top goal scorer in the Champions League for Victoria. So we're going to take that as a win. He didn't shock anyone really with his performances. 2 goals this time around. Previously, he had gotten a single goal, so 3 goals. That's actually joint top goal scorer in the UCL for Victoria. So take that.
Moving along to Group D, I have Tottenham top of the group, but they will only score 1 goal in 3 of their 6 games, meaning they'll...
So yes, I got their position right, but they sort of did what I said they would do. They were shut out in 2 games and only scored a goal in 1 game. And so kind of take that as a win. They didn't score more than a goal in 3 games is how I should have worded it, and I would have been 100% correct, and there would be no sorta here. I'll be right back, though, guys.
All of those 3 of those 6 games will end with Tottenham 1. Solid enough for that group. And I just don't see them scoring very many goals. I think is going to continue to get a little frustrated with the situation. And one of the players that I think is really going to stand out in the Champions League group stage.
This is Marseille. This is Marseille in second.
Tavares, the lone player from Arsenal.
Oh, that was such a bad call. He was probably one of their worst performers in the Champions League after such a good start in the Ligue 1.
And I think he's gonna.
Oh, you think so? You think so?
I think he's gonna again put his name on the map. And
oh, really?
Arsenal's gonna just have trouble at left back, figuring out who to keep next.
Oh, are we gonna do that? Are we actually gonna do that?
Tavares making a permanent move to Marseille if it continues to work out. Sporting, they're gonna slap Frankfurt twice. I don't know what the scoreline is gonna look like. They're gonna beat them twice, and Frankfurt.
Completely wrong there with the everything else, but Sporting in 3rd place. I got that one right.
They will only get 3 points, and they're going to get 3 points.
That's so wrong.
Marseille, finish it, but they will finish dead last in the group with Sporting 3rd, Marseille 2nd, and Tottenham 1st.
Completely wrong there with Marseille and Frankfurt. Switch them, and I get it right. Is what it is. But 2 out of 4 again in that group.
Coming along into Group E, Chelsea. Pulisic is going to start at some point for rotation. He's going to get a goal and assist, but he will still be out of favor with Thomas Tuchel.
And there it is. Tuchel gets the sack. Pulisic gets 1 start. Pulisic gets 1 assist. He nearly got a 2nd and a 3rd in this game, this final game of the group stage, but he obviously did not. And coming into his situation, he did not get a goal. So I was nearly there on my Pulisic prediction. Just missed it.
Milan, Giroud will be top scorer in the group, and that will be about it.
Let's go! 2nd in the group for Milan. Top goal scorer in the group is Giroud with 4 goals to his name.
From Milan, they'll finish 2nd. He will be the best player in the group, goals-wise. And for Salzburg, a new Salzburg star is going to rise. They're going to come into a Europa League spot, but that's not a problem because Noah Okafor is going to become a star at Salzburg, and he's going to be looking at a move come January.
Sheesh! 3 goals to Noah Okafor's name in the group. 3 out of, I'm not quite sure how many Salzburg had scored going into this. Salzburg scored 9 goals. I believe scored 9. No, they conceded 9. They scored 5. 3 out of the 5 goals for Salzburg were scored by Noah Okafor. Bang.
The World Cup. For 4th place, Dynamo Zagreb. I don't know much about the team. I'm gonna say they get 1 point. I'm not sure against who, but they will finish with 1 point in the group.
They finished with 4 points. They finished with 4 points, but they finished dead last in the group. So I'm gonna take my one position there. And that is a perfect group 4-4 in that Chelsea's group, Chelsea Milan's
Top goal
group.
scorer of all groups. He will finish.
Madrid, yes, finished first. No, Benzema. He faced an injury. I don't know if he missed any games for that, but is what it is. Didn't get his top goal scorer
with Real Madrid, and he will be the top goal scorer amongst all the teams in the group stage. He will be the number 1 goal scorer. Might be joint goal scorer with Real Madrid. Be up there at 1. Celtic will beat Leipzig at home and draw with Real Madrid at home. Celtic's gonna make their home a fortress, and they're gonna make it into the Champions League knockout stages. They are going to surprise a lot of people with the way they play.
I had to end that. I was cringing so bad. I'm cringing so bad. Second for Celtic. What was I thinking? Is my brain made of mush? Oh my god. Celtic go out with 2 points. They're the position I predicted, a number of points, total points they got match up, but that doesn't really count for anything. Sending Leipzig into the Europa League group. Nope. The Europa League, excuse me. Not at all. They will tumble into Europa after an embarrassing draw to Shakhtar on the last day. They beat them 4-0. They beat them 4-0. And Celtic getting a draw on the last day against Real will send them just above Leipzig. And for Shakhtar, who finished bottom of the group, Mudryk is how I'm going to pronounce his name. I'm not quite sure if that's 100% correct. But his price will raise exponentially, but they will not make it out of the group stage at all. They will not get any Europa. He finished. He did play well. Mykhailo Mudryk played very well in the Champions League group stages. Played very well for Shakhtar this season. However, as we know, Shakhtar did make it out of the group stage still in Europe. They maintain European status by playing in the Europa League the rest of this season. League football as well. That was a terrible pose of me. Tumbling out of Europe with Mudryk's stock still right. Looking at Group G, Manchester City will get an 18-pointer, fewest goals conceded in the group stage amongst all teams. No. In the Champions League. No to an 18-pointer. However, I was correct about the goals allowed. I don't think I said anything about their goals scored. Goals allowed, I was 100% right on. They are joint fewest goals scored with 2 goals allowed. Same with Bayern Munich. Let me make sure. An 18-pointer, fewest goals conceded in the group stage amongst all teams in the Champions League. They will concede the fewest goals of all teams in the group stage. Adeyemi will only score 1 goal for Dortmund, and they will finish second in the group. He will be held to 1 goal. The goals will come from other positions, but he will only get a single goal. I think Giovanni. We're going to cut it right there because I started talking about Giovanni Reina, which is completely wrong. However, I was right about Adeyemi. 1 goal for him in the group stage, and the goals came from elsewhere, and Dortmund finished second. So, pretty spot on right there. Giovanni Reina getting healthy will pick up some of the slack, I think. Obviously, he struggles, but he will only get hosting them against Dortmund Champions League group stage. Sevilla's lack of a center back will hurt them. It'll end up costing them against Dortmund, and Dortmund will secure a second over them. Sevilla will bounce down into the Europa League, where they thrive, but you'll have to wait until we get there for me to get my predictions on Sevilla in the Europa League. And just like that, I was right. Sevilla not having a center back has cost them. They sold Koundé, they said Diego Carlos, and that has cost them. They have dropped into the Europa League, and they lost 4-1 to Dortmund. That is because they didn't have the center backs that they need. They also lost their other match to Dortmund. I think that was 2-0. And the center back situation, they figured that out. They may have gone through the Champions League knockout stages. Copenhagen, no points. They will, if they finish anywhere else in the group, if they finish second, third, first in the group, I will do a shoey. I am that confident. I will go out. I said no points, but fourth place. Fourth place is fourth place at this point. They didn't finish first, second, third. No shoey. Ha ha ha. Let's go. No shoey. And I will do a shoey with the worst, dirtiest shoe, the yard shoe I use. I will go outside and do it. Thank God I didn't have it in me to do a shoey. Moving along to Group H, Mbappe will have another falling out with Messi and Neymar, but it won't matter because the talent is just too much for that group, and they will still finish top. Juventus. Well, I picked PSG to come top of their group. I failed because of away goals. Are you kidding me? how close do I have to be? For the Mbappe situation, who knows? He was linked with a leaving in January, and then he knocked that down, but the rumor hasn't really gone away, has it? So nobody really knows what's going to happen.
Juventus are going to continue to look bad. They're going to stumble their way into the knockouts.
No.
Barely beat.
No. They're going to stumble their way to the Europa League knockouts, is what they're going to do. Let's be clear. Let's be clear about that.
Beating Benfica out.
Nope.
Beat Juventus. They're going to beat Kent. Benfica's going to finish third. Benfica even are going to beat Juventus. They're going to beat them at home in Portugal. But
hey, and they beat them at Juve as well, at Turin. They beat them on the road as well. They beat Maccabi both times, and they drew with PSG twice. That's kind of crazy to think about. They drew with PSG twice.
It won't matter because when Benfica go to face Maccabi Haifa, that's how I'm going to say it, they will only get 1 point, costing them the costing Benfica Champions League spot. Benfica is going to fall into the Europa League. Maccabi Haifa is going to end on 1 point, which is their draw against Benfica, and they will be out of Europe.
No. I had that all wrong. They not only ended on 3 points, they also beat Juventus. That really cost Juventus really any opportunity of getting on the right track. Juventus still would have only ended up on 6 points if you give those 3 to them. But, at the end of the day, they absolutely, did way better than I thought they were going to be. They scored 7 goals. Yes, they conceded 21. Yes, I know that. They still scored as many goals as... They scored more goals than Sevilla. Scored more goals than Celtic. Scored more goals than Salzburg and Dynamo. Scored more goals than Victoria. Scored more goals than Leverkusen, Atletico. As many goals as Club Brugge. Who, to be fair, Club Brugge, they had only conceded 4 goals, and they scored more goals than Rangers. They scored more goals than 3 teams that are going into the Europa League. They just came into a difficult group
for the season. But let me know what you guys think. Do you agree, disagree with my picks? Do you think that I'm making a fool of myself? Do you think Leipzig are going to blow Celtic out of the water? Do you think Celtic's going to take the group? Do you think Adeyemi is going to go out and show out and he's...
All right. This all is really bad. Everything I said here, wrong, except the Leipzig part, beating Celtic. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We're going to be back tomorrow with my Europa League predictions, and I hope you guys are looking forward to those. Obviously, my boys Arsenal, they're in the Europa League, so we're going to see how they do, hopefully very well. I'm recording this Wednesday night right after the Champions League group stage is finished, hoping Arsenal have made it through in first place of the Europa League. I do not want to play in that knockout match, that round of 32 match. I want some of those teams to knock each other out so that we don't have to face them. Hopefully Manchester United have to face one of them because they're playing Sociedad, and I think they have to beat Sociedad. If they beat Sociedad, they're tied on points, and so I think it would go to aggregate or something like that of when they face each other. But let me know what you guys think. I don't think I did that bad. Let me count it up. There's what? 8 times 4 is what? 32, I think. Oh god. Yeah, 32. Let's see how many I got right. $18 out of 32. So that's what? A little bit over 50. That's barely over 50%. That's 56%. So 57, 56, 57%. About a little over half. Better than half. I'll take that any day of the week. 56% of my teams, I guess, right? So that's what? 2 more than 50%, because 60 out of 32 would have been 50%. So 2 over 50. I'll take that any day. And you see me right here? Right there? Right there? That guy will be in your closet giving you nightmare fuel. That stare if you do not hit that subscribe button. So you should hit that subscribe button. I'm serious. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video with Europa League reaction, and peace.